Okay, I think we are officially up. Hello, hello. How is everybody tonight? Top Impressive, hello. Love Monkey, hello. Vest, hello. Kaiser, hello. Douglas, hello. How is everybody tonight? How is everybody tonight? Another Friday night, Historic Travels Live. How is everybody tonight? Let's see. Lucas, good. Blue Star Line. Hi, Blue. How you doing? Wilson, hello. Captain Galaxy, hello. Jacob, hello. Show, hello. Bug, hello from Greece. Holy cow. Well, hello from West Virginia in the United States. Man, Greece, that's crazy. It always blows my mind, like where people watch my content from and everything. That is really, really cool. Let's see here. Ocean Liner says, "Hi Sam, how you doing? I'm a big fan. Awesome, glad to hear it. I'm doing pretty good. Heart beating, air in my lungs. It's a good day. Maritime history. There you are. I was wondering if you were gonna show up this evening. How you doing, man? How you doing off? How you doing, man? Let's see here. Brick Ship. Hello, hello from Australia. I have to visit Australia someday. Have to. That's so cool. Historic. Hello from London. Hello from West Virginia. And again, I got to get back to London. Liam, our first super chat of the night, 20. Thank you so much. Liam says 20 to start off the night. Liam, thank you so much. Super appreciated. Just thank you, man. That's awesome. Wish you would have asked a question or something, but hey, the support is appreciated. Thank you so much, Liam. And okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I already have to turn on slow mode. I can't keep up so fast. Sorry, guys. I got to turn on the slow mode. And slow mode activate. Sorry. Historic or Maritime says lol the chat. Yeah, the chat's going nuts. Martin, hello from Florida. Hey Martin, how you doing? I love Florida. I lived there for a couple of years when I was in college. Roger, hello from Liverpool. Wow, Liverpool. That is so cool. So just curious, everybody over in the UK, have you guys been watching the new season of The Crown? I have been addicted to it. I have been addicted to it. I'm like on the 6th or 7th episode so far, and oh my gosh. Like just mouth drop with some of the stuff that they talk about in there. Holy cow. Liam, another 20. Thank you. You deserve all the Liam. Thanks so much for the 20, man. Super appreciate you. Your support is very appreciated. Just it means a lot that you like my work and you want to donate and contribute, man. So thank you so much for the 20. And seriously, because of people like you and everybody here that I can do this for a job. So Liam, thank you so much. Historic says, yep, it's amazing. Yep, it's pretty intense. That's all I gotta say. D3, hello from the Netherlands. Hello from West Virginia. Man, we got people from all over the place tonight. Holy cow. Let's see here. Top Impressive. Sam, did you see the trailer video I sent you? I have not. Again, you just got to message it to me when I'm active on Discord because I don't see it. If you message it to me when I'm not active, then there's a very high chance I won't see it. So wait until I'm active in Discord, then DM it to me. Let's see here. Joke. What if Britannic hit the Titanic's iceberg? Britannic would have survived because all of the porthole windows would have been shut and the Britannic was designed to stay afloat with the exact same amount of damage as Titanic. So it would have made it. Ocean Liner guy. Sam, how did you get into Titanic? That's very simple. The James Cameron film. The James Cameron movie, the 97 film, is what got me into Titanic. I remember going over to my grandparents' house. I was 6 or 7 at the time. And it was Titanic was on at my grandparents' house. And it was the scene where Lightoller said to Smith, shouldn't we get the women and children into the boat, sir? And I'm like, what is that? And it was either my grandpa or my mom. I can't remember. But they said, Sam, that's Titanic. And I'm like, what's Titanic? And the rest is history. I was fascinated by it from an early age. Marcus, hi from Sweden. Hi from West Virginia. Liam, again? You're doing all the super chats. Liam, thank you for the 10. How soon will the Andrea Gale video be out? It's not something on my immediate list of things to work on. It's something that it's on the back burner. But right now I'm working on Murdoch. I've gotten about 6 minutes of the video filmed. It's probably going to be a 2-parter because Murdoch was a lot. It was a lot to research. It was a lot of work to get the pictures and everything. My Discord was incredibly helpful in helping me find some pictures of Discord, pictures of Murdoch as a young man and everything. So it's been a process, but Murdoch that's what I'm working on right now. So I'm hoping I'll have part 1 ready tomorrow. We'll see. So we'll see like how it all goes out. Cause listen, it was a lot of work researching the lifeboats. Like, cause I had to find information on every single lifeboat that Murdoch worked on. Let me give you guys a taste. So you guys want to see I typed out all of these, by the way, on Murdoch. So here is all of the notes that I took. My phone's doing it terrible, but these are all the notes that I took about Murdoch. So that should give you a hint as to what I have been very busy with. That is that like it took a long time. It took a long time to find all that information and go through everything, and still says OMG research horror. It's a lot. And it's especially like, because like with Captain Smith, if you try to find one thing about Captain Smith, it just says his actions aren't that widely known. That's what it says. But actually, there's a very good amount of information about Captain Smith. It's just that you have to jump through so many sources to find information. So, I mean, it's like I had to look at Thomas Andrews documentaries. I had to look at survivor accounts. Like there's so much. And it took a long time. It took a very long time to find accurate and thorough information about Smith. Because it's like I had a general idea of what I was looking for, and that is incredibly helpful. But to find specifics, it took a long time. It took a very long time. Maritime, good work takes time. Yes. Oh, hey, Millie. I see you. Hi, so hey, Millie. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a while. How's life in good old Argentina? Ours Argentina. Now, you guys are on a different. Your seasons are flipped down there, aren't they? So, like, if it's summer here, it's winter there. If it's winter there, it's summer here. Is that correct? Like, you're that far down? Is that? I feel like that's what that is. If I'm wrong, correct me. I know Australia's like that, but I think Argentina's like that. I think. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But how's life down there? Crane says, do light taller for the next video. Possibly. Let's see here. 5 from Phoenix. Thank you. If Captain Smith seen the iceberg, what would he done maybe? Honestly, I think that Smith would have done things fairly similar to Murdoch. I mean, it's just like, I think Murdoch did the best he could given the circumstances that he dealt with that night, given that he had 30 seconds to respond, Well, and fun fact, the whole 37-second thing, that we don't know for certain that's how long it took the Titanic from Iceberg, from spotting the berg to turning. That was figured out with tests from the Olympic. So, Maritime, you have to, Maritime goes Olympic. You know what I'm going to say before I say it, don't you? But yeah, excuse me. I had a pizza for dinner. You can tell we got rained on. Me and Rosie got rained on. My hair's still wet. Maritime, you're a mess. You know that. Glad you're here. Stephen 5, greetings from the UK. I think Friday night you might get more from this side of the pond. Well, like the big thing was, that was something that I was getting a lot of feedback about, was that there's a lot of people from over in the UK and Europe and all of that. Thank you for the 5, Stephen. Super appreciate you. Are you the same Stephen that mailed me all those cards? Is that you? Are you the same Stephen that always sends me all the really cool stuff from all those ships and everything? Is that you, Stephen? Let me know in the chat. But, I got so much feedback that there were people over in the UK and Europe and everything that wanted to watch my lives. It's just 7:30 my time is crazy late over in the UK. And it's Sunday, so people have to go to work on Monday. So I'm like, you know what? On occasion, we'll start doing Fridays. Like, I'm not going to promise I'm going to do it every week, but on occasion. Let's see here. We got 449 from Paul. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate the support. Another 10 from Liam. Liam, thanks so much, man. Super appreciate you. Suggestion for you to react to live a suggestion for you to react live stream Titanic edit funny lol by Amaze James. Well, for me to react live, I'd need to get some streaming software installed on the computer so you guys can see my desktop, which I don't have on here at the moment. I keep meaning to do that. I just keep forgetting to do it. But that might be fun to do one of these days, is do a live like react on stream and everything like that. Yeah, nice idea, Liam. Thank you for the 10. Super appreciate you. Millie says, no snow here for Christmas. I can't imagine a cold Christmas. Millie, you should come to West Virginia. If you ever come up here and you see the snow, like we don't get it majorly in Charleston, but it does happen. It does happen. And we get some pretty extreme storms. I remember back about, it was probably 7, 8, maybe. Nah, I think I was a teenager. So it was like over 10 years ago. But anyway, there was this crazy snowstorm and it completely knocked out power. Like we didn't have power for 3 days. Okay. And anyway, my parents, because I was a teenager, still living at my parents, they have an old school fireplace, wood and all that stuff. So I was in there, like me, my brother, and my sister, we were all around the fire. And we were sleeping in there, like they have couches and chairs and stuff. And every 2-3 hours, I would wake up and throw fresh wood on the fire, probably every 2 hours. I remember waking up several times. I remember it was around 5 in the morning and I woke up. It was still dark outside and I saw the fire was going out. I had overslept and I'm like, oh, so I scrambled and everything and I was fixing the fire and I got it burning again. Then the next morning when we got up, my brother said, oh, yeah, I woke up and I saw the fire going out, but I figured you would get it, so I went back to sleep. I'm like, Alex! Listen, that's what happens when you're the older brother. All the younger siblings expect the older brother to do everything. I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens. The younger siblings go, the older brother will take care of it. And I'm like, you could have at least woke me up. But anyway, that was funny. That was funny. We got another 10 from Liam. Thanks, Liam. Think about it this way. We have them. All right, like Liam, don't get me wrong. I appreciate it, man. Like I appreciate the donations and everything like that. But just by being here, you're supporting me. Just by watching my content and everything, you're supporting me. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the super chats. But by being here, you're supporting me. And by doing the super chats and everything, you're going above and beyond. So thank you all so much for all the support. Liam, you're awesome. Everybody here, you're awesome. Thanks for the 10, Liam. Let's see here. Jade, I've been building a Titanic in Minecraft. I just had to figure out how high was the double bottom and how long it is in the blocks. I'm not 100% certain. Like, let me see here. Was it it was G deck, what were the decks below G deck? I'm drawing a blank here because there was tank top, I think, and there's something else. There's something else I'm drawing a blank on. There's something else that was part of the Titanic's lower bottom. Tank top and what am I drawing a blank on? I'm drawing a blank on something. I can't think of what it was. It's something below G deck. Anyway, but yeah, Orlop deck. Okay, the Orlop. Yeah. So Orlop. Thanks, guys. That's what I was drawing a blank on. But yeah, so I would say I'm not exactly sure how high up the double bottom stretched. I know. Did it go up into any of the accessed areas, like where people could walk around, or was it just part of the bottom part of the ship? Because you can see the double bottom has separated. There's those two big pieces on the wreck. But how high up did it stretch into the actual part of the ship? Like, could you actually walk inside the Titanic and be standing on it? Like that's what I'm wondering. Like, was there any part of it that you could access from the ship's interior? I don't know. Captain Galaxy, bottom part, just the bottom. Okay, cool. So there you go. There's your answer. Everybody. Let's see here. Brick 2, thank you. Just a little something. Thank you so much, Brick. Chief Officer Henry Wild 2. Sorry I'm late. No problem. Glad you're here. Thank you for the 2. Liam, another 5. Thank you. I enjoy every second of doing super chats. I plan to get a Lego ship haul to give my original ship a sister. That's so cool. That is so cool, Liam. Thank you for the 5, man. Super appreciate you. Guys, red alert. Red alert. Somebody is here I'm a lamp is here. I own Sam's lights. I own Sam's. Okay. All right. So lamp is here. But hey, lamp, you haven't seen it since, but we have added security now. So I've got all of these things on like a super high-end light prevention security system. So it'll take a little bit more power. Like you can't just immediately turn the lights off. So we are ready for you. I am Lamp, for those of you who don't know. He's a guy who shows up in here and does a running meme on the channel where he shows up and the lights in my studio turn off. It's just a joke. But we are prepared for you tonight. We are prepared and we are ready to defend against the lamp. Defend against the evil lamp. Oh boy. Okay, we got that. We got that one. Kaiser, too. Thank you. Hi, Sam. Just ordered a model for myself from THG. Awesome, awesome, man. Super appreciate you, man. That's awesome. You, are they still doing the gray ones? Are they still doing the? I know they're not doing the hand painted ones. Oh, and fun fact on that, there's been an update. They emailed me. THG emailed me, and they're sending me a refund for my Aquatania. So unfortunately, I'm not getting my Aquatania model, sad face. But I'm getting a refund, so it's all good. That's a bummer. I waited this long, and I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I'm getting my money back. But yes, Maritime, rest in peace, Aquatania. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Okay, we got that. We got that one. Chief Australian Wild 2. How do I order a ship from Titanic Honor Glory? Just go to their store. Are they doing it though? Titanic Honor and Glory. I'm gonna bring up their store real quick. Can you? I'm wondering if you can buy their models gray. Self-assembly model clips, Titanic merchandise. Here we go. RMS Olympic. Let me just look at that one. 65 quantity. It says out of stock. It says they're out of stock. Like you can't get them right now. Huh. Oh wait, profile. Oh no, these are prints. These aren't the 3Ds. I don't know. I don't see. I don't see. Oh, wait, 3D model chips. Here we go. RMS Olympic. No, it says they're out of stock. I don't know. I mean, if you guys want to spend more time and look through it, I just took a quick glance, but there's their store. I mean, if you guys want to go through it and see if they have anything in stock, but I don't see anything. Let's see here. We got that one. Got okay, 5 from Steven. Thanks so much. Have you thought about doing a presentation on the Titanic effect on the male survivors? Some were destroyed by it, some were made by it. What do you mean the Titanic effect on the male survivors? Like, are you talking about like survivor's guilt, or what do you mean by Titanic effect? That's not a term that I've heard. Like, a little bit more clarification, like how the tragedy affected some people differently than others, or what do you mean there? A little bit more clarification. Thanks for the 5, Stephen. Got that one. Got that one. Phoenix 5. Thank you. I was in Liverpool. Made me think of Titanic. I was in Liverpool. Made think of Titanic. Yep. Good. That's really cool, Phoenix. You know, that's crazy that Liverpool was a Titanic's home port, but she never visited there. That really is insane when you think about it. Titanic never visited her own port. Phoenix, thank you for the 5. That one, got to that one. Mark says, hello from England. Have you seen any of the 4K footage of the recent dive to the wreck? I believe I have. I believe I have seen some of that stuff. I've seen some of the recent dive footage from the wreck, and it's pretty... Excuse me. This is what happens when you eat right before you go live. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see it. I don't know. Did they do any type of survey work? Or was this just one of those tourist expeditions, you know, where they just took people who paid tons and tons of money out to go see Titanic? Or did they actually do any research? I haven't seen anything about recent discoveries or anything. What I would be very curious to see is an updated map on the Titanic stern section. Because we do know the bow is falling apart, but the bow is in much better shape than the stern. And I'm curious about how the deterioration of the stern has progressed. I'm sure it's a lot worse than what we're familiar with. Says, hey, says, hey guys, hey, says, welcome to the stream. It is so weird to have you here. It is so weird to have you here because, like, usually everybody who watches my stuff over in the UK, they're usually asleep. Man, this is awesome. I've got to start doing these more on Friday because it's so cool to have all of you from the UK here. Like, this is just so cool. That is so cool. I've got to do this more often. I absolutely have to do this more often. AJ, what do you got against Maritime? What do you got against Maritime? Seriously. Maritime, what are you doing to AJ? Wait, does AJ have a grudge against Maritime? Or Maritime, are you bugging AJ? Maritime, what are you doing to them? C says, love from the UK. Thanks, man. Thank you. Liam 5, thank you. Have a good night, Travels. Thanks, Liam. Thank you for the 5. I will probably back in like an hour if the stream lasts that long. I'm probably going to be up for about an hour or so. Liam, thank you for the 5. Glad to hear it. Thank you for all the support. You take care, my friend. Let's see. We got that one. We got that one. We got 2 from Steven. Thank you. Some survivors were shunned because they survived. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, okay. You know, it had to really do with how society was. Like, society during that time was, I mean, I guess it all depended on who you were and how you survived. But, you know, it was a very, what's the right word? It's the honorable thing to do for a man to go down with the ship, you know? But even though, like, you know, even though that's how things were, though, like, I didn't think that they would shun you for surviving if you weren't doing something to take something away from, like, a woman or child. You know what I mean? Obviously, you'd be looked down upon if you took a lifeboat and there were innocent women and children around. I mean, the women and children should get into the boats. That's what I would do. You know, like, that's what I would do. But if there was just an empty seat and, okay, this boat's going to leave with an empty seat if you don't get in, who cares if a person gets in? Who cares if a man gets in? I mean, that'd be my 2 cents. You know, I mean, like, I don't think you should be blamed for that. But the guy from Japan, I forget his name, but there was a guy from Japan on Titanic, and he was shamed for surviving. You know, I don't know his story or how he survived or what boat. I'd have to look it up. But I mean, it's like he was so looked down upon for surviving, and all he did was survive. Now, I'd have to look up the circumstances. I don't know exactly what happened with him, but still, I mean, you know, it's just, it all depends on, my judge of character would be how you made it. You know, what did you do to survive? That'd be me. That would be how I would do things. Thanks for the 2, Stephen. And yeah, I guess we could do a video on that. That's a good idea. That is a good idea, Stephen. You got me raging, Stephen, or not raging, but discussing. Okay. Titanic survival mentality, I guess, or what would be the right word? What did you call it? Some survivors were shunned because they survived, but you called it something. The Titanic effect. Male survivors. Titanic effect. I really like that idea. That would make a good video because then we could study a lot about British society at the time and just how everything was. And yeah, it's a good idea, Stephen. Thank you for the 5, man. Or 2. Thank you. 5 and 2. Let's see. Here we got that. We got that one. Backtracking. I get so far behind. Sorry, guys. Okay. Tina 5. Thank you so much. Hey, Sam, if it wasn't Murdoch that killed those passengers, who do you think it could be? And when is Murdoch video coming? I'm working on it now. So it's probably going to be a 2-parter. Tina. I showed this earlier in the stream, but just in case you didn't see it. Do you want to see my notes? Let me see if my phone will adjust. The lighting is not. Come on. The computer doesn't like the lighting. Anyway, you can't see it, but I've got notes and notes and notes. So I'm working on it. It's going to be a 2-parter. It's definitely going to be a 2-parter. So what I'm working on right now is Murdoch's early life, you know, and I'll only briefly touch on it. But then, did you all know that Murdoch served on 3 out of the 4 Big 4 ships? He served on 3 out of the 4 Big 4 ships. I did not know that until I started making this video. I had no idea that Murdoch served on so many ships. Says mobile phones and computers don't mix. You're right about that. But yeah, I just thought that was absolutely insane. He served on the Celtic, the Adriatic, and the Cedric. Yeah. He served on those 3. The Adriatic, the Celtic, and the Cedric. He didn't serve on the Baltic. Tina, did not know that. Dustin, I never knew that. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. I read that and I'm like, holy crap. Holy crap. Like he served on all of those ships. Like it's pretty cool. It's pretty nuts. Like, and I've learned so much about Murdoch over the past few days, you know, just researching it and looking into his stuff. And there we go. Yeah. But yeah, I learned a lot. And it's coming. It's coming. So I'm probably going to work on the video all day tomorrow as well, or at least most of the day. So we'll see. Like, my goal is to get, so like I've talked about his early life. He was on where he was with the Royal Naval Reserves for a while, and then he joined White Star in 1900. I briefly touched on the ships. I'm talking about his time on the Olympic briefly. He was on board during the Olympic Hawk collision, so I'm talking about that. So yeah, it's coming. It's slowly but surely it's coming. Okay, we got that one. Yep, thanks for the 5, Tina. Classy 5, thank you. Slaving away on the documentary and currently getting the tenants in the World Trade Center 4, 5, and 6 buildings, which were a part of the complex that's around the plaza. Kasi, you are like going into so much detail with the Twin Towers and the World Trade Center and 9/11 and everything. Like, listen, bravo to you for doing all this research and treating the story with respect and everything. I cannot wait to watch your documentary when you're done with it. So good luck, Kasi. Thank you for the 5. Phoenix 5, thank you. British, me too. Thanks for the 5, Phoenix. Super appreciate you, my friend. Henry Wild 5, thank you. Why did Herbert Pittman on Titanic get on the second boat to leave? I mean, he was an officer. Aren't they supposed to leave last? Was Pittman on lifeboat number 5? Was that right? Did Pittman man that boat? But then again, it's just it's not that they're supposed to be the last ones to leave. I think it was a case of Murdoch just looking at him and going, "You get in this boat." Yeah, I think Pittman was one of the early officers. Now that I think back, I read about that when I was reading about Murdoch. But yeah, I think Pittman was. Yeah, and it's just he needed somebody to get into the boat, and Pittman was there. So, hey, get in the boat. I'm pretty sure it was like that. Thanks for the 5, Henry. Got that one. We got another 2 from Kasi. Sad face. This is only part 1 of the documentary so far. Kasi, how long's part 1, man? Thanks for the 2. How long is part 1, Kasi? I can't wait to see it. Thanks for the 2 minutes. By the way, I got something really cool I want to show you guys. So I did another mail check just to see what all came in and everything. And this came from Sabrina, and it was insanely cool. And here's Sabrina's note. Be careful, please be careful with the book. It's from 1912. A Titanic book from 1912. That's what Sabrina sent me. Holy crap. When I saw this, I'm like, no way. So I couldn't find the exact year it was published, but I'm sure it was from 1912 or soon after. But does anybody know the exact year that this was published? Does anybody know the exact year that this book was published? Like, this is just, like, I mean, obviously this has got to be from around that time period. This is absolutely incredible. And you know it's a old Titanic book when it's got the Olympic on the front. Like, so that's Olympic. But like, that's absolutely incredible. Bro says 1913, Look says 1914. Like, this is just like, I have to be so careful with it because you can see that the cover's coming off. Like, it's barely holding on there. But this is just so, I mean, I gotta look through this. But my plan is to get this book restored. I'm gonna take it to a guy, and there's a guy in town who repairs books. So I'm gonna take this there and get it restored and everything. And wait, is that Lawrence Beasley's book? I don't know. Let me see if I can find the author. If this is Lawrence Beasley's book, holy crap. The Sinking of the Titanic. No, it's by J. Henry Mowbray. I don't know who that is. J. Henry Mowbray. Any of y'all know who that is? J. Henry Mowbray. He's the one who wrote the book. But, this is... Anyway, I about died. I about died when I saw this. It absolutely blew my mind. And this is going back into the box until I get the mail time done. I keep everything with everything until I get to the mail time. Just so I don't lose track of anything. Let's see. Backtracking. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so burpy tonight. Sabrina, 5, thank you. Kids love the book you sent. They keep looking at the pictures. You are the best. They say thanks. Oh, thanks, Sabrina. Thank you for the 5. Yeah, so I had an extra copy of the Ken Marshall Titanic art book. And Pembroke, I looked for the copyright, but I didn't see it, but it might be in there. But I had an extra copy of Ken Marshall's Titanic art book. So I put my name in it and wrote a little note and mailed it to Sabrina and her boys. That way, just like they're always here and everything. So I just thought I'd do something nice for them. But yeah, so I sent them Ken Marshall's the Titanic book. Sabrina, thank you for the 5. I'm glad you all liked the book. And I'm glad this makes me happy. Makes me happy that they all liked it. Thank you for the 5. And Sabrina, are we going to defeat Maritime day after tomorrow? Are we going to do it? Let's see here. Tana, 5, thank you. Hey, Sam, can you do a video on the SS Warath? Has never been found, went missing in 1908. The SS Warath. I'm not familiar with it, but I will go ahead and add that to the list. SS Warath. A-W-A-R-A-T-H. Okay, I've got it. Missing in 1908. Sure, it is on the list, Tana, and I will get to that as soon as I can. Thank you for the 5, Tana. Super appreciate you. Douglas, I would expect the copyright to be on the first few pages. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I'll go through and look at it again. I didn't see it on the original page, but it might be there, and I just overlooked it. But I'll look. I will look. I can't wait to figure that out. I want that book to be restored. Let's see. Harley says it was published in 1912, months after the sinking. That quick? That quick that the book came out. That's insane. That's insane. Very, very crazy. We got that one. We got that one. We got that. Chief Officer Henry Wild, 5, thank you. You should do a video on all of the lifeboats on Titanic. You should in the order they left the ship. Well, in a way, Murdoch is going to be similar to that, Henry Wild. So that's another thing that's going to make Murdoch such an involved process and why it's taken me so long to work on it. And I briefly, I don't give full detailed accounts of the lifeboats. I just kind of give a brief little overview, like a brief little double check. Quick question for the chat, since you all are here and you all are extremely smart. Was it hang on, I made a note of it. Was it lifeboat number 5? That's what my Discord said it was. I'm just double checking. But was it lifeboat number 5? That was the lifeboat that kind of one side got stuck when it was on its way down, and one side got lowered down further, and the boat almost tipped over and knocked everybody in, but then they got the other side and it evened out. Was that 5? I think so. Yes. Okay. That's what everybody in the Discord thought too. Just double checking. That was extremely annoying to find. That was an extremely annoying thing to find. It was just... Dustin says, that would be the one. 1997 movie depicted 7 doing that. Okay. Says, yes, number 5, Ozzy. Okay. Gage, did Murdoch launch out? Murdoch was involved with, all of the boats on the starboard side in one way or another. You know what I mean? He was all over the place. Murdoch was all over the place. So, I mean, it's just... and On a Sea of Glass was also very helpful. I use On a Sea of Glass as my reference book. So let me find it. But yeah, so take a look at, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the chart that has the lifeboat loading times, and look at everything on the starboard side. So Murdoch, Murdoch. So yeah, he was very involved with everything on the starboard side. And get this. So Murdoch was so much more efficient in dealing with the lifeboats and Lightoller. He got 3 lifeboats away before Murdoch got 1. Did you guys know that? He got 3 lifeboats away before Murdoch got, or no, Murdoch got 3 lifeboats away before Lightoller got 1 boat away. I mean, insane. Absolutely insane. Like, that's, not only did he do everything right when it came to the women and children first thing, but he also did everything right as far as trying to get as many people into the boats as possible. And now it was kind of hard for me to figure this up. This is a very rough estimate because I found an exact number for the number of people who died on Titanic, 1,496. But in terms of survivors, it tends to jump around a little bit. Like I find 705, I find 708. It's right around there. And when I was trying to add it up with the lifeboats, the people in each boat, the information I was finding was also inconsistent. So it's like some sources said there was 30 people in this boat, or there was 30 to 35 people in this boat. This boat could have 20 to 40 people. So it's hard to find exact numbers. I'm actually curious how On a Sea of Glass got the 1,496. But anyway, based on the 705 survivor count, I added up that Murdoch got 388 people off Titanic, and Lightoller got 318. So that, I added it all up. I figured it all up. So 388 for Murdoch, 318 for Lightoller. And don't get me wrong, like, Lightoller got a lot of people off the ship and everything, but he was wrong about the women and children first thing, and Murdoch was a lot more efficient. So, crazy. You guys can see how much research I've been doing. It's been a job. It's absolutely been a job, but I love it. Okay, backtracking. All right, thanks for the 5, Henry Wild. We got another 5 from Kaiser Wilhelm de Grosse. Hey, Sam, yesterday I made to 9-hour drive to see the remains of my sister, the SS Crimson in Newport. To see the remains of my sister, the SS Crimson. So wait, when you say your sister, I guess you're pretending to be the ship. you're pretending to be the Kaiser Wilhelm. So when you say the remains of your sister, the SS, did that ship sink out there or something? Or like, are the remains partially there? Or like, I don't know anything about the Kaiser ships except the fact that the Kaiser Wilhelm de Grosse was the first 4-funnel ship. But interesting. So a German ship sunk off the coast of Virginia? Really? I'm curious. Thanks for the 5, Kaiser, and I'm looking for more information. Thank you. Gage, holy geez, he was a busy bee. He was a very busy guy. I mean, Murdoch was, even with lifeboat number 7, some of the articles and like some of the survivor accounts from it said that there was no such order of women and children first. Like, it was just, get in. We've got to go. Get in. Like, that's how Murdoch was. Chief Officer 5. Murdoch is probably getting a 30-minute video, but Wild got a 10-minute video. Are you serious, man? Are you serious for saving that? Well, you know, I try to be as absolute detailed as possible, but the thing is, Henry Wild, there's just not a lot of information out there about it. And I did the best job that I possibly could. You know, there's not that much information out there about Henry Wild, but it's also, he was just probably busy, you know, doing everything he could, and he probably just wasn't noticed too much by survivors. Because think about it. Henry Wild was technically the person in charge of the boats on the port side. But then Lightoller kind of got fed up with him. And like, that's honestly the vibe I got. You know, so that Lightoller just kind of went off and did his own thing. I mean, like, it's really crazy when you think about it. And Henry Wild even tried to get Lightoller into collapsible D, and Lightoller said, no way, and kept on going. So, I mean, it's just, come on, cut me some slack here. Doing the best that I can. Pen Prop says Maritime knows 706. Maritime, where did you get that? But definitely not choosing favorites, Henry Wild. But where did you adds up to? Oh, did I add up 706? Did I miscalculate? Did I miscalculate that? Did I do that by 1? Did I make an error in my addition? Let's see here. So I got 388, 318 plus 388, 318 plus 388. Oh, 706. Okay, so I added up to 706. Okay, there we go. Anyway, Of course, Maritime would catch that. I was one number off. I was one number off. No, you just sat there and with 7. Yeah, I misadded. I misadded it. But yeah, so 388 plus 318, 706. Okay, so 706 survivors. There we go. Of course, you caught that. You caught I was one number off Maritime. Of course, you caught that. Thanks, Maritime. So 706 survivors. That's the number I got. Okay, we got that one. We got that one. Moon 5, thank you. Hey, Sim, I'm 11. You say that every time. I get it. I know you're a young historian. And I have been on every single live stream since May this year. I've been watching since October 2021. Thanks so much, Moon. Thank you so much for being here. It's awesome that you're a young maritime historian. But I know. I know who you are, Moon. Thank you for the 5. Kasi, too. Thank you. Sam, who do you think adds more detail, me or you? I think it's about the same, except I do extreme detail on Titanic and you do extreme detail on the World Trade Center. Thanks to the 2, Kasi. Joe, too, thank you. I left the link in chat from Smithsonian on the author. Oh, cool. Thanks, Joe. Hey, Joe, do me a favor, and when this stream gets archived, put that link in the comment section because it'll be a lot easier for me to see it. Thanks, Joe. Super appreciate you. Let's see here. We got that one. We got that one. 2 from Henry Wild. The chat's on my side. Justice for... What do you mean justice for Henry Wild? I made a video about him and I did everything I could to accurately tell his story. What do you mean justice for Henry Wild? I did the best job that I could. I told his story, didn't I? Why are you giving me a hard time? Thanks to the 2, man. Moon, thank you for the 2. Sam, were Titanic's lifeboats the same size? Roughly, I believe they were the same size. I don't know about the collapsible boats. Were the collapsibles smaller? No, I don't think they could have been, because if they were smaller, then they wouldn't have been able to fit on the davits. So I guess they were the same size because they could all be launched on the same davits. So let's see here. Maritime says, I'm on Sam's side. Yes! Maritime, yes! We are all on the same side. Says Henry Wild has had justice. Sam did a great job with that. Thank you, says. Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much for backing me up. Thank you. Thank you so much for backing me up. Hang on, let's do a poll. Did everyone like the Henry Wild video? Yes or no? Did everybody like the Henry Wild video? Ask your community. Let's do it. Ask your community. Did everyone like the Henry Wild video? Did y'all think I did good making the video about Henry Wild? Let's see here. Let's see what the chat says. Let's see what the chat generates. 87% yes. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you. That really does mean a lot. Thank you, guys. That means a lot. 13%. No, what? What? Oh, well, because I'm saying no out of spite. Of course. Jacqueline says, I answered no as a joke. Okay, I kind of wondered if that would happen. True Crazy, definitely yes. Says that 87% is good. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Super appreciate you. Super appreciate all of you. Did I miss? No, we're all caught up. Good. Silent Film says, hey, Sam, I have a question. If the Titanic had doubled the lifeboats and lowered all of her aft lifeboats and let all of her foremost lifeboats float up like the collapsibles, could more people have survived? I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's all about how the lifeboats, where did I put it? It's all about how the lifeboats are positioned. And, like, the thing is, I'm just going to use my Olympic model. But, like, if these ships, just the design of these ships, well, they didn't have a good system in place to launch more lifeboats on the Olympic and Titanic. You remember how difficult it was for them to get collapsible A and B off the ship. You know, I mean, they didn't have time. And the thing is, when a ship goes down and the water comes crashing up onto the boat deck, those lifeboats, they get shredded. You know what I mean? The water comes rushing up so fast that, I mean, it tears everything up. Now, collapsible A and B did get away, but barely. And I mean, in collapsible A and B, they were right at the front of the Titanic's deck. So even though they got floated off, they were in terrible condition as a result, but they were right at the front of the ship and right when the final plunge was beginning. If you have boats that are further back, like around the second funnel and everything, like right around here, I mean, those boats would just get torn apart. I mean, there's all the debris coming down the funnels. I mean, maybe they get away, but by having more boats and just focusing on the boats at the stern and just hoping that those boats would float away, I don't see how that would work out. Because, I mean, it's just the water's coming up so fast, the ship's breaking apart. I think more people would die under that circumstances. I mean, those boats, they just get shredded. Those boats just get ripped apart when water comes rushing in like that. So, I mean, should the Titanic have had more lifeboats, had enough lifeboats for everybody on board? Absolutely. But if the ship did have more lifeboats with the system in place on how they would launch them, I think more people may have died because they wouldn't have had time to launch them. They wouldn't have had time to move the boats, get them into position, because it took them an hour to get the first boat away. They didn't have time to launch the last two boats. They got floated off, and everybody on board those had a good chance of dying. I mean, it's just it. Now, if the Titanic had the exact same lifeboat system as Britannic, you know, the gantry davits and everything like that, then they could have launched the boats and been fine. Because look, Britannic sank in 55 minutes, and they didn't start launching its boats till about 20 minutes after the mine detonation. And they got most of the people that were on Britannic off. I mean, like, there were how many people on board Britannic? Maritime, 57 minutes. Okay, Maritime. But there were like around 1,200 people on board Britannic, I think, roughly 1,100. And only 30 died in the sinking. Now, don't get me wrong, that's still very tragic, but 1,066. You guys just everything that I'm like, hang on a second, I can't remember exactly, and boom, you guys got it. You guys got it. You guys know your stuff. But still, there was like 30 or 32 people that died in the sinking, which is sad, but still, they got that many people off the ship, and they didn't start lowering the lifeboats until 20 minutes after the mine went off. So, I mean, that's insane. Absolutely insane. Captain Galaxy 1,066, 1,066 from Titanic, Maritime 1,065. Everybody's all over the place. You guys know your stuff. Anytime I have a question, I just have to look at the chat. You guys know your stuff. But no, I don't think if the ship had more lifeboats and they float them, I don't think that would have helped. I think it would have made things worse. Got that one. Henry Wild said for 2, Scatino is on my side. Haha. By the way, just kidding. I know you are. I'm just giving you a hard time, just like you give me a hard time. Thanks for the 2, Henry. Some History 10. Thank you so much. What do you think would have happened if the Titanic hit the berg head on? We've talked about this. And basically, it all depends on speed. So, like, what I think would have happened was icebergs are one of those things where it all depends on the type of berg, because there are some icebergs that are incredibly unstable, and then there's some bergs that are as hard as a rock. You know, like you can't do nothing with them. They're very firm. And it depends on the type of berg that you hit that would decide that. And it seems like the one that the Titanic hit was a very strong iceberg. But like, hang on, let me find this video. There was a case a few years ago where these guys, they found an iceberg and they decided to try and climb on it. And check this out. So this is a very unstable iceberg. Watch this. Watch what happens when you mess with a bad iceberg. Sabrina, well, that was dumb on their part. Yes, but watch this. Like they don't know what they're about to get into. I mean, they barely escaped death by messing with this iceberg. If it, what is this? Oh yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Watch. 10 seconds. Says I saw this. Wait for it. Of course, I backtrack. There it goes. Look at that. I mean, they barely avoided getting crushed. Barely avoided getting crushed by that. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And that's the thing. It depends on the type of berg. So you have incredibly unstable ones like that, and then you've got extremely strong and firm ones like what Titanic hit. And I honestly believe that if Titanic would have hit the berg that it did head on at traveling 21 to 22 knots, I think that this ship The berg would have resisted the Titanic. It would have like crunched in the front of the ship, the bow. But I think the ship would have suffered a massive structural failure. Everything inside of the ship, like all the people, furniture, everything would have got launched forward. And then I think a ton of the support beams and everything would have snapped. And I honestly think the Titanic would have been so badly damaged that she probably would have just dropped straight down. That's honestly what I think would have happened. I mean, you've got that much mass moving that fast against something that strong that can resist that. I mean, just think about how much momentum. I mean, that's the thing. That would be my guess. I mean, there are cases of ships hitting icebergs in the past and the hull getting crunched in, but I don't see how going that fast the ship would make it. That would be my theory. That would be my theory, but I don't know. Let's see. Maritime says, you and Mike contradict on this topic. Watch his video. Okay, I'll look at it. I think I saw that he did a video and I just didn't watch it. But that's what I think. Now, if the Titanic was going slower, like let's say 10, 12 knots, and it hit the berg, I think the bow would have gotten crunched in, and then that would have been that. But something that big, going that fast, I mean, structural failure is no joke. It's really not. It's something that can really happen if something is put under enough force. So, I mean, imagine, like, picture yourself in a car. You're going 70 or 80 miles an hour, and then the driver slams the brakes, and you get lunged forward from the momentum change. Imagine that, but on the scale of Titanic. You're on this ship, and that happens. Imagine the forces behind that. Like, just, it paints a picture. It paints a picture. And while I'm talking and talking, and here come the super chats. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit behind now. Thanks for the 10, man. Some history. Moon, too, thank you. Sam, can you add the SS George Washington to the list? I'm not familiar with it, but sure, Moon. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Boom, got it. Okay, it's on the list, Moon. Thank you for the 2, man. Some history 10, thank you. Is it true that the Titanic was going to have a lifeboat drill, but it was canceled? You're 50-50 on that. So on Sunday, there was supposed to be a lifeboat drill. That was canceled. But the thing is, they were still breaking in the Titanic's engines. The ship was performing very well. And that was one reason why they canceled it. And the other thing is, they had a lifeboat drill, I believe, in Southampton. They had a lifeboat drill. A lot of the crew participated in it, and it was completely successful. So they're like, okay, the engines are being broken in. They're performing extremely well. The weather's perfect. Are we really going to stop the ship, lower a lifeboat, lift it back up, when we don't need to? They know what they're doing. And also, Sunday church was going on, so it would have disrupted all of that. So they're just like, it's been done. We don't need to do it again. That was the big reason. So they had one in Southampton, but the one at sea was canceled. That's what happened, basically. Thanks for the 10. Chief Officer, 2, thank you. Who is the biggest enemy? Hit, it's on the Titanic. Who is my biggest enemy? Hint, it's on the Titanic. The Iceberg? Or do you mean Chief Officer Henry Wild's biggest enemy? I'm not sure about that. Did Chief Officer Henry Wild have like a rival or something? Curious about that. I am curious about that. I don't know what you mean, man. Thank you for the 2. Space 10, thank you. Had a small thought. All right. Wouldn't there be slight air blowing throughout the Titanic, having an eerie chill of air flowing as she flooded? Also, would you be interested in checking out the SS Arctic game? There's an SS Arctic game? Seriously? Are you talking about the ship that Tom Linsky made a video about a while back? The Vesta and all that? Is that what you're talking about? I'm very curious. Yes, let me know. I'm very curious. But yeah, so it would depend on where you are. I think was it Henry Wild? Or there was one of the officers doing an inspection early in the disaster, and he said he could hear air escaping from certain parts of the Titanic, like from down below, as the water was coming in. He could hear the hiss of air. So yes, that would happen in some situations. But yeah, you're right on that. Thank you for the 10, man. Oh, we got that. We got that one. Joe, 5. Thank you. Why weren't 18 boats fully loaded? Please call me Joe Ellen. Okay. Okay, Joe Ellen. Sorry. Yeah, I usually do that, Joe Ellen. I just look at the first few letters of a name and I just roll with it. So, but anyway, there's a variety of reasons. One reason was that the passengers didn't know how serious of a situation it was. That was one big reason why the boats weren't loaded to capacity, at least in the beginning. Another reason that they like to say is because of the weight. Like some of the crew might have been concerned about the weight, which I'm not too sure about that. Which lifeboat was it? Was it? I'm drawing a blank. Was lifeboat number 1 on the starboard? The first boat across from collapsible sea. Was that 1 or 2? Was that 1 or 2? It was 1. Yeah, lifeboat number 1. So like lifeboat number 1 left at 1:05 a.m. And lifeboat number 1 had it had only 12 people on board. And this was also the very controversial lifeboat. I believe this was the Millionaire's lifeboat. And what they were talking about with that was like, why on earth would Murdoch have launched that boat with only 12 people on board? And a running theory was it was because of collapsible sea, because they couldn't work on collapsible sea with lifeboat number 1 still there. So they had to get rid of lifeboat number 1 so they could begin prepping collapsible sea. So they just kind of threw a few people in the boat and boom. So that's what they did. Yeah, I think lifeboat number 1 had 12 people. That was the one where the millionaire, like where the press tried to destroy that millionaire. I forget his name, but the one who said that, oh, you bribed the ship's officers to not go back and pick up more people when that isn't what happened at all. But yeah, so I mean, there's a large variety of reasons as to why the boats weren't launched fully full, and so I want you to think about it like this, okay? Let's say you're on the boat, okay? And you're there with your whole family, husband, wife, kids, whatever, okay? The Titanic, early stages of sinking. It's well lit. And these officers are telling you there's no danger, it's just a drill. But you need to put your wife and children into a rickety lifeboat. Duff Gordon, yeah, that's it, Sean. Thank you. Duff Gordon. Thank you, Sean. But you got to put them into a lifeboat and lower them into the freezing cold Atlantic, but you'll be back on board for breakfast. So would you do that? And then you see this boat creaking and everything. And what if you're around lifeboat number 5? When it's going down, then one side starts to tip and all this other stuff. I mean, I understand the hesitation. I understand why people wouldn't want to leave the nice warm Titanic. And imagine being on the deck that night and looking at it's freezing cold out. And you look out the ocean, you just see this big black void. And I mean, it's just like, even James Cameron said, the davits they used for the movie, they were built better than the ones that were on the real Titanic. But he said that those davits made them nervous. Listening to those davits creaking and groaning as they were holding the weight of the boat. I mean, there's a large variety of reasons as to why the boats weren't launched to capacity. They definitely had an easier time, though, as the disaster went on, though. As time went on, they definitely had an easier time putting people in. SS Poseidon, 5. Thank you. And a second, guys. Oh. There we go. All right. Poseidon says, I think it would be awesome for you, Ocean Liner Designs, and Part-Time Explorer to have a discussion on different major ship topics. That would be really, really cool. The only issue with that is time. So me, Tom Linsky, and Mike, we all have our own stuff going on, and I don't know where Tom is right now. He jumps around all over the place. I know Mike's in Australia, and I'm in West Virginia. So it's just getting a time for all of us to communicate and work together to figure this out and do something. It's easier said than done. But that would be really cool if we can work out the timing issues. Thanks for the 5, Poseidon. Some History 5, thank you. What is the most emotional moment in the Titanic movie? Oh, gosh. A lot. Obviously, one of the saddest scenes is when all the people are in the water. Another one's when Jack dies. That's another really sad scene. I think probably the biggest moment, the biggest emotional moment for me, though, is, and it's probably my favorite shot in any movie, ever, is after old Rose passes away and she goes back to the ship and all the people are there waiting for her. Like, I mean, that's such an emotional movie. It's like even though they passed away, they're not dead, their spirits are still alive, they're in heaven, their spirits are still with Titanic. It's like a promise kept. Rose promised she would never give up. She kept going, and everybody who knew her on Titanic was there waiting for her when she crossed over. I think that was that's a big one. Sean, Cora, and her family. Yeah. Well, that was a deleted scene. So unless you're really into the Titanic film, you wouldn't know about that. But that's a pretty emotional scene. Did you guys know, if you go back and you look at that scene, and if you go back and look at that scene when Rose is walking up to Jack, the last scene in the movie, take a look at the grand staircase clock. It's at 2:20. Yeah, the clock is at 2:20. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The clock is stopped at 2:20. Like, that's just a very cool little Easter egg that they put in there, that the clock was stopped at 2:20. I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. James Cameron, like, he did the best job he could with Titanic. He did the best he could. Thanks for the 5, man. Steven 10, thank you. Titanic behaved well that night. Absolutely agree. Look at other sinkings. What did go wrong was the officers did not know how to load the boats, which is strange considering a lot had transferred from Olympic. When you say they did not know how to load the boats, like, what do you mean exactly? Like, do you mean like how they handled the passengers, or like is that what you're saying? Like, when you say, because I mean, they were fairly efficient once they got going and getting the boats ready and everything like that. When you say not load the boats, are you talking about how they handled the situation? Is that what you mean? Or, because I mean, you got to think about this, Stephen. Before Titanic, a ship that big, and you have to evacuate everyone on board, because Titanic was the biggest ship in the world at the time, and there were other sinkings and everything. But to evacuate a ship like that, I mean, honestly, I think they did a fairly decent job, all things considering. I mean, sure, they made mistakes, and I do think they could have handled the passengers better, but you don't want to panic. You don't want passengers to panic. You want there to be order and everything like that. So that's kind of the whole thing there. I mean, it's tough. I mean, maybe the crew could have been more trained with the boats, maybe, to get them. But still, it wasn't the reason it took them an hour to launch the boats wasn't really because they didn't know what they were doing. It was just because they wanted to be sure they needed to launch them before they did it. Because launching lifeboats is dangerous. Launching lifeboats is dangerous, and people can get killed in an evacuation. So you don't want to do that unless you have to. I had to think about that, though. Interesting, Stephen. Thank you for the 5. Or thank you for the 10, Stephen. Some history 5, thank you. What was the most shocking thing about the Titanic wreck? For me, it was the Turkish baths and the grand staircase. For me, the most shocking thing? Probably the clock. Yeah, I've talked about it before, but when James Cameron got into the Strauss suite and saw the clock on the mantle on the fireplace, and it was still there, that's what blew my mind the most. That's absolutely what blew my mind the most. Thanks for the 5, man. Hannah, 2, thank you. I'm a tad late. No problem. Glad you're here. We're about to wrap up, but I'm here. How are you tonight? I'm doing good, Hannah. Let's see here. Yep. Air in my lungs, good. Heart beating, good day. Thanks for the 2, Hannah. Glad you're here. Chief Officer 5, thank you. What moment do you think the passengers realized the Titanic was sinking? I'm sure a good number of them noticed pretty quickly. You see, the thing is, there were several instances where the passengers, like, they noticed that the ship was slightly listing. Like, they noticed like the slight tilt in the ship. Like, in A Night to Remember, it references how one passenger was walking down a flight of stairs, and then when he went to step on the step, he stepped there, but his foot stepped in the wrong spot. He was like, whoa, something's wrong. But then it's also like your brain kind of gets used to it. It's like you adapt to it without really thinking too much about it. So if I would say the passengers noticed as the sinking played out, I definitely think they all knew when the forward well deck started to go under. I definitely think they knew then. But by that point, the water was pretty far in the ship. I would say they knew they were in trouble when they started to see water in places on the ship where passengers could normally be. You know, when the water was flooding like the private areas and the crew areas and stuff like that, I don't think they would have noticed too much. But when you've got hallways and staterooms and stuff going under, yeah, people are going to figure out pretty quick. And especially if they see lifeboats going over the ship side. So they would notice. They would absolutely notice. Space 5, thank you. Yep, I'm working on art to game, but it's not done yet. I'm working with no blueprints, but I've been designing the interior for it the best we can. Sure, Space, thank you for the 5. I would love to check that out. Just message me in the Discord. I would absolutely love to see it. That's so cool. Reminds me of Titanic SOS they did on Roblox. But yeah, I would love to check it out. Thanks for the 5, man. 2 from Chief Officer. Henry Wilde's death was sad. Remind me. Did Henry Wilde, where did he die? Like, I know he was around Collapsible D. Did he die around Collapsible B, like when that happened? Or what was the official cause of death for, I don't recall. I do not recall. Chief Officer Henry Wilde. Where was Henry Wilde last spotted? Titanic death. The account of was he was saying that Wilde was last seen on the bridge smoking a cigarette. He waved goodbye to Lightoller when the ship sank. Lightoller made no mention of this in his account. Wilde's body was never recovered. So he was last seen on the bridge smoking a cigarette. Okay. That was his last official sighting. That is sad. But Lightoller made no mention of it. So where'd that story come from? That's what I wonder. Where did that... I need to research that. I need to research that. It says right here, Ismay testified that Wilde was the officer in charge of Collapsible C. And at D, Wilde told Lightoller, you go with Collapsible D. And Lightoller said, no way, and jumped back onto the boat in pure defiance of Wilde's order. Listen, that just goes to show, like, even though Wilde was in charge of the port side, Lightoller really did just kind of go off on his own thing. He really did. He completely went off on his own thing. Let's see here. We got that one. Okay. We got 5 from Some History. Are people still talking about the time zone Titanic sinking, or have they figured that out? They basically got that figured out pretty well. So they did not have daylight savings in 1912. So under the current time zone, Titanic was 2 hours ahead of New York time. I think that's right. And then in April, since we have daylight savings, or do I have that backwards? I think it's 1 hour. I'm drawing a blank here. Yeah, it was 2 hours and then 1 hour. Yeah, that's it. Because we lose an hour and we gain an hour. But yeah, they basically have that worked out to a science because they factor in daylight savings and all that stuff. But there were different time zones back then as well. They didn't have the same time zones. So yeah, 2 hours and 1 hour. It was like that. But yeah, they basically have that worked out pretty well. We got that one. But thanks for the 5, Some History. Liam 5, thank you. I'm back. Welcome back. Have you heard of the channel's name, Rapid Nation and Larry Life? I highly recommend you check them out. I have not, but sure, I will check that out. I will absolutely check that out, Liam. Thank you so much. Henry 5, thank you. Would you have done Concorde and the QE2 trip Kennard did back in the 90s? You could sail on Queen QE2 one way and fly on Concorde the other way. I'm sure that would have cost a fortune. If I was rich, maybe. But how much were flights on the Concorde? Like, weren't they absolutely insanely expensive? Like, it would have been cool, but I think it was crazy, crazy money, Henry. Thank you for the 5. And we got Lonely 2, thank you. What is your theories on the Grand Staircase? I think it broke apart and chunks of it floated up and other parts broke apart and got spread throughout the ship. But yep, I think it just kind of broke up and floated up and then other parts, got tore apart and everything like that. That's what I think happened, Lonely. Chief Officer 2, thank you. What's your Roblox username? I'm going to get flooded with friend requests now. Real Historic Travels. There you go. That's my Roblox account name, Real Historic Travels. All right, everybody. Well, hey, we are at 1 hour and 10 minutes. This was an incredibly fun live stream. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up now. I will see you guys on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, just like always. So thank you guys so much for that. So, yeah, I really do enjoy doing these Friday night live streams. They're a lot of fun. Talking to all of you is a lot of fun. And, oh, we got a couple more super chats. 2 from Henry Wild. There's another Henry in the chat. This means war. Great. Thanks for the extra 2. And 5 from Some History. What do you believe would have happened if Titanic and Britannic survived the incidents? I think they would have gone on to, I think Titanic would have went on to be a ship during World War I. And eventually, if they survived that, both ships would have been passenger liners and scrapped in the 30s. I think that's what would have happened. They would have had long careers if they survived their incidents and made it through the war. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you guys so much. Are you guys trying to stop me from leaving with the super chats? Liam 10, thank you. Earlier today, I went to a restaurant and said, I will order another page. Thanks for the 10, Liam. Thank you for that comment. Captain Galaxy 2, thank you guys so much. Is that your plan to do those super chats to keep me from signing off for a little bit longer? Thanks, guys. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a great night. There goes okay. Lonely 5. What is your theory on what happened to the Grand Staircase? Some think it was sucked out when the ship went down. What is your thoughts? I think it broke apart and floated up and out. Like parts of it floated up and out, and other parts got ripped apart, and the wood and everything got scattered throughout the ship. I think it was a combination thing. All right, everybody. Y'all take care. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, everybody. You guys are awesome.